In this video, I'm going to show you how to install a sink drain along with the faucet in this sink. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. The channel's all about building your own house, saving a ton of money. So be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get notification every time I release a new video, and hammer that like button for me. That's all I ask in return for making this video. This is pretty simple to do, but let's get started. I'm first going to install the faucet before I install this drain in the sink. And the reason why I do that first is because if this drains in and you got the trap in the way, it's harder to install the faucet. It ain't that much harder, but it's a little harder. So I always install the faucet first. So the first step is installing the shutoff valves. I'm now going to address the water lines. What I'm going to do first is measure up about 4 inches on the hot side and on the cold side. And then I'm going to come down to 3 inches just to get me a reference mark for my shark bite fitting. So I'm going to do that on both lines. I'm now going to take my ratchet pipe cutter and cut the 4-inch mark. I'm now going to install this dual shutoff valve, and this is because I got a dishwasher. This one's going to go to the sink, and then this one's going to shoot over to the dishwasher. So I'm going to hold this pipe really tight because it does have some play in it, so that way it doesn't push through the floor. And now all we got to do is push down, and again, this is just a reference mark, but need to make sure we get on all the way. All right, and that went on really well. And this is just a chrome cover to give it a nice finished look. So that goes like so, and make sure these are shut off. And now I'm going to do the same to the cold side. And again, we'll twist the cover to give it a nice finished look and twist the shutoff valve to where you can reach it. And that's all there is to the water lines. If you're interested in this Delta faucet or sink, I'll put a link to them in the description below. Now that the water shutoff valves are on, I just wanted to show you what you got to do up here first. This is for if you want to install this with this bracket and gives it a finished trim, but I'm not going to do that. I just want this sticking up off the countertop. So what I need to do is take this foam gasket and install it around here first. So in order to do so, I got to peel this apart like so. And this side is like a sticker, and then this side is soft, so this is going to go down. So I'm first going to pull the center out of this. And I'm now going to fish this up over these water lines. Start at the ends like so, and then fish them over it until I get it up to the faucet. And before I do that, I'm going to peel off the sticky side. So this is going to be sticky so it sticks onto the faucet. Now we're going to place it firmly onto the faucet, and this is just going to act as a gasket to keep water out of the hole. And because you won't be able to see below when I put this on, how this is going to work, this is going to thread up over this pipe like so, and once it gets up to the end, it's going to be secured into place using this nut. So then I'll slide this nut right over this line and right up into here like so, and then I'm going to take this tool and fish it into that line as well. And then this is just going to tighten up. Then this is going to get wedged between the countertop that's here, and this will secure that onto the countertop. And then there's these screws to tighten down to makes it that much more snug. So I'm first just going to set this into the hole. And of course you got to take this off first. I'm first going to take a rag and clean off this area really well because this needs to make a seal and we don't want any debris in the way. And then I'm going to take my faucet and fish it right through the hole in the countertop. And I'm going to install mine so that the handle is on the right side, like so. And I'm actually going to slide this over here to counterweight it so it doesn't fall. So now I'm going to go underneath the sink. And that's what it's going to look like. We got our bracket holding it to the countertop, and then the nut holding the bracket tight. And then if you ever got to tighten this up down the road, you can easily tighten these up too, which would wedge it even tighter. I'm simply going to locate the hot water line, and it's this one, and it's indicated by the red at the end in this case. And now I'm going to hook it to this side of this double valve because this side is going to go to the dishwasher, and that's going to be a video in the future. But right now I'm going to take this side off, and that's a ferrule nut, and this already has everything ready to go here, and it's going to thread right onto the shutoff valve like so. And now I'm going to take my crescent wrench and tighten that up all the way. And I'm now going to do the same on the cold side. And that's all there is to hooking it to the water valves. And now I got to address this line. Now that the shutoff valves are on, I got a scrap piece of pipe I'm going to put over that little hose that came off the faucet and flush those lines, because Delta recommends doing that. After I slide the pipe over that water line, I'm going to turn the faucet on, and it's going to drain right out of that water line and through that pipe and into this bucket. And that's going to be how we flush the lines simply without making a mess. And this is why you flush your lines out. As you can see, look at all that debris that came out of those lines. That would have clogged up that faucet easy. Now that I'm done flushing out the lines, I'm going to take off the pipe and we're good to go. I'm now going to take this water line and hook it up above where we just flushed the lines out. And then I'm going to take this bracket to make sure the connection stays together. So as you can see, this water line goes up and connects to the line that we just flushed into that bucket. And then that bracket's going to keep it together well. It's now time to install this drain. And this drain came with this Delta sink. So they're all designed a little different. But this one comes in parts. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up and then take this center piece that holds it all together out. So as you can see, this is the top part that has this little rubber gasket. Now, I can use this rubber gasket and just set this right into place, but I'm a fan of plumber's putty, so I'm going to replace this gasket with putty. And then this piece, the body, and then this rubber gasket goes in from below. So this is going to go underneath like so. And it's all going to be threaded together. So I'm first going to take my plumber's putty, get a good little hand of it out, and then twist it around in my hands into like a rope. And now I'm just going to work it until it's a little bit more pliable, and then start rolling it out. And now I'm just going to take it and just pack it around the edge of this drain. Now that you got an adequate amount around this piece, I'm just going to place it right into the drain and just kind of push it down as tight as I can. And now I'm just going to reach below and place this onto it, and then use my bolt to hold it into place. So this just threads onto that body. And I'm just going to take my hand and hand tighten it as much as possible before tightening that center. You're going to notice it's going to push that plumber's putty out around it. And now after that's hand tightened all the way, you can also take a penny, believe it or not, tighten that center bolt up a little more. All right, and now after that's all tightened, we're just going to peel off all that plumber's putty. Then we'll keep the rest of this for the next job. Then I'm going to take my rag and just wipe up around that drain. And that's all there is to installing this piece. Now let's address the trap. I'm now going to install this 1.5" tailpipe, and this has a discharge side for the dishwasher. So this is going to accept the dishwasher's drain. And then this has a threaded end that's going to thread right onto this drain. But the Delta sink came with this rubber seal that I'm going to place down inside of this tailpipe to give it a nice seal. So I'm going to go ahead and thread this right on to that drain. And I know my dishwasher is pointing this way, so I'm going to go ahead and point the drain that way. Now I'm going to take this 1.5" trap kit, and when I open up, as you can see, it's going to have all the parts to make your trap. So we have our trap right here. We have our extension that's going to go back to the wall, and then this is going to go into the tailpipe, or actually the tailpipe's going to go down into this. And this came with an adapter, but I already have one in the wall, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. If you hold up the trap to the tailpipe, as you can see, it's a little bit too long, and the hole I'm shooting for is here, so if you put it on, it's going to be way low. So I'm going to hold this up where it goes, and then hold about where it needs cut, so right in here. So I'm going to take what's called a hacksaw, and just go ahead and remove this now. And now I'm going to dry fit this with the new cut and see if it's at the right height. And as you can see, the height will work. But now I need to cut this to length. So I'm going to hold it back to where it goes. And it looks like I need to cut just about that much off of, so about 2 inches. And I'm now going to deburr both pipes using a utility knife. I'm now going to place this nut and washer over that tailpipe. And then I'm going to place the trap into this adapter and into this tailpipe kind of at the same time. If not, we can loosen this up and place it on separate. And after you get them lined up well, all we got to do is tighten up the nuts and we're good to go. And if you're curious, this is an 1.5" adapter to an 1.5" Schedule 40 pipe. And now we're going to turn the water on and check for leaks. And the water's on, and with this discharge tube, you shouldn't have water come out of here because it slipped down, as you can see. And the water's on and I do not see any leaks. So it looks like that was a successful installation. If you would like to see how I installed this exact farmhouse sink, check out this video. It'll help you out.